It is the doctor's office of the future, according to the owners of Forward. It is a new service created by people behind Google and Uber. It has raised $100 million. It wants to be the way you get medical care in the future. Let's take a look at what one Forward installation looks like.
Looks like a Starbucks.
It is a Starbucks. This is the mobile unit. We're gonna look at another photo of it right now. It looks like that. They've put it on wheels.
Open air Starbucks.
According to those who run this open air Starbucks that takes your blood, it's complete with slick tools like iPads to check in patients, biometric reading body scanners, blood and genetic tests, and giant interactive screens that will display your vital signs during visits. Being a Forward member, a $149 a month commitment that isn't covered by insurance also gets you body monitoring wearables and constant access to doctors and nurses via email and text. It does not cover hospitalizations and surgeries and stuff like that. But according to one of the creators, a lot of what we're trying to do with Forward is build a healthcare system that's something you're excited about, you're engaged in, and gets better outcomes. It's part of a bigger story of why can't healthcare be something that's compelling, that's beautiful, that's super well designed, designed to the same standard that Warby Parker designed their store against. Thoughts, 5 words or less.
Because of stool samples.
Yay, another expensive healthcare option.
Great.
Sounds like my Equinox membership.
Yeah. Thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? It's a fancy, covered.
Yeah, it's not covered. I mean, when I first saw the headlines, I was excited. I was like, oh, they can get healthcare to places that don't have a lot of access to it.
Yeah.
But then it's $150 a month. So no, it's not for those places.
They can't get healthcare to those places.
It's not helping people like that. So I'm a little bit disappointed.
Me too. I'm not turning my head and coughing in that thing.
Yes, because there's no doors.
Yeah,
right, it's like
can you just show up the second photo that Brett tossed to? Of a Forward, there we go. Germs, straight up germs outside. Look at all this.
I don't know. I'm sure it's like this is half of it, and then there's walls, and on the other half of it.
Or something.
Y'all know what's really fun though?
Okay, you're probably right, but it was better in my brain when it was just open air germs.
Those mobile HIV
testers
in West Hollywood. I have a blast in those things. They're so cool. It's just fun. They're like happy, excited. That's what I would envision this to be, because like when you go get, in West Hollywood, they have them. If you don't live in Los Angeles, they have mobile HIV testing places that are, I think, sponsored by the American Healthcare Foundation, AIDS Healthcare Foundation, and they're fun. However, this doesn't look fun. This looks contrived and looks really like you have to be invited to the party. And for $150 a month, like my Equinox membership, that shit's expensive. So it's like, it doesn't seem like it's accessible for everyone, and it seems like it's catering to just a very small group
The gym
of people.
thing is a really good metaphor, because the same machines are at other gyms that cost less.
$25 a month.
That want to be fancy and go to the ones that cost more.
It's like just bougie. It's super bougie. It's super bougie.
It's Silicon Valley. It seems like people in San Francisco.
So question, would we have a different opinion, do you think, if maybe it was $25 a month? And
Absolutely.
So it was,
yes.
Absolutely.
So it's the cost that I think is where we're all sitting uneasy on this, where it's like, okay,
yeah, because it makes it not accessible to the common folk.
And there is absolutely a healthcare issue in this country.
Yeah.
And so there is, I think, a need for it. This is a service that could actually be very helpful, but then you just put this preventative cost on the service, and it is frustrating.
And in places that, in urban communities, and where there's places where there's not a lot of discretionary income, and I mean, I'm probably gonna get shaded in the comments for saying that, but I grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where there wasn't a lot of discretionary income. So $150 a month to get healthcare is unheard of for some people, and I think that the idea is great, but what would be even more effective is if you have this and say that we take it down to, I don't know, not Calabasas or not Westwood, and put it into places like, again, where I said where there's not a lot of money, and be like, okay, cool, we're gonna drop the price. Hell, we'll sponsor.
Exactly.
We'll sponsor this for people who are not able to afford the healthcare and afford that experience. I think that would be phenomenal.
The Warby Parker name drop is what is disconcerting to me. That's where the waste, I think, is. It is not. This is a mobile healthcare unit that's fancy.
Yeah.
And a mobile, you had me till fancy. And once you said fancy, you lost my faith that your priority was anything other than like the intelligentsia overpriced coffee experience of the hipster community.
Sure.
Like of folks who are willing to spend more to be part of a club. And when I think of Silicon Valley as innovators who are trying to solve the world's greatest problems, they aren't solving the problem of how to get healthcare to folks, in my opinion, because a lot of the standard healthcare stuff that people pay less for every month to get covered isn't addressed here. It seems like they're innovating ways to make money off of like fancy extra services that aren't really helping anyone. There was a company called Theranos that ended up being called under scrutiny for being like a huge fraud. But what it tried to do, as they said, was to go put like these units in Walgreens that you could go get your blood work done in. And that's great. And then there's other ones that are trying to be mobile units that you can use cell phones to take your blood, put it in a chip reader on your cell phone, and it would be able to send that to a doctor so they can get the blood work done in remote areas. That's where I think the technology needs to be put to work better, and not just like, hey, you want to go to a Warby Parker place that doesn't sell glasses?
Yeah, I think people would go to a shithole to get healthcare as long as they were getting proper healthcare and getting what they needed, And so it's the whole. I think we're turned off, as you said, Brett, just by the whole. This is beautiful. This is glossy. What's that movie with Matt Damon where he has to go? There's The
Martian. Good Will Hunting.
No, where with Jodie Foster, where they have the colony and you have to
Elysium,
right? Exactly. So thank you, everyone. That was a great movie. But that's what this is kind of like. It's like you are.
Elysium.
That's what I said. I said Elysium.
Elysium.
I said Elysium.
Late on that one.
Elysium. However you want to say it.
I thought you had already said Elysium.
Yeah, I thought we were all.
That's my drag name, Elysium. But
that's crazy. Now I'm waiting for her to say it again.
Go ahead, Grace.
Third time's a charm.
Elysium.
Grace got it. Say it, Willie Nelson.
But that's what this is like, Like if you're good enough, you can deserve or you're able to get our health care. So I don't know. Keep it moving. We don't need this. Kick this.
All right.